So, greetings ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Real Board video. As you can see, we are going over a game between Cho Hyeyeon and Changho. I'm sure you know who both of those players are, or at the very least, you probably know who Changho is. You better know who Changho is, because he's just a, a little Korean Go player who was on top of the Go world for like over a decade. So, just someone you might want to know about. Cho Hyeyeon, you might not know who she is if you never watch any Go videos on the internet ever. If you do watch Go videos on the internet ever, and you specifically partake in the English commentary variety of the Go videos that are on the YouTubes, then she is probably a commentator who you are aware of. She has crazy tons of energy. I had the good fortune of casting alongside her when I was over in Australia, and I noticed she played Changho, which means we have to look at her game. That's all there is to it. That's how that works. You might say, but what about this game that went on this week, or that game that went on this week, or have you heard about the thing with Mr. KG? But we're not going to go over any of that, because this game is far, far superior. So, as you can see, Cho Hyeyeon is black, and she opens with a 3/4 stone facing what we don't know. That's quite okay, though. What will Changho do? So what will white do in response? Normally I say, yes, well, white's going to play up in this corner and invite all the things because he is a pro and not as scared of anything. Interestingly enough, though, wow, we don't talk about that. Interestingly enough, though, opens up diagonally, ensuring that we cannot have a cross joseki, is not inviting everything and anything. Is that a sign of weakness? I don't know. Let us find out. Cho takes 4/4 for herself. Double 4/4 points for white. Okay. Since that is a 4/4 point, black can obviously approach, black can obviously 3/3. It's something we have to admit can be done nowadays. Couldn't close. But here's something I feel like I need to mention again for maybe some of you Q players. Here's a question. Let's say we wanted to expand as black. Can anyone tell me at all why we probably wouldn't be expanding here? Why we wouldn't be expanding here? Why is that? That's a large side too, right? Why wouldn't we be doing that? I specifically said that black might approach here or enclose or something. I didn't touch upon here. It is the smaller side. That is true, and as Lost Jack is saying, the 3/4 is more urgent than the 4/4. Also very true. You can usually do more approaching here and backing off into a frameworky kind of dealio than you can here. Also, as mentioned, it's also the smaller side, literally by one line, but that one line does make a difference. So yes, this would be not the worst move in the history of ever if you approach from this side, but if your opponent's watching out for it, he or she might take that as a small indication that your direction of play might need a little bit of work. You may have just revealed a weakness to your opponent. Either way, it's irrelevant because black plays as the enclosure 2-space high 3/3, or not 3/3 approved, sorry, AI approved enclosure. White's not gonna care. White's just gonna bonk, take his enclosure. We're seeing those a lot nowadays because, again, if you leave it open, the 3/3 is still there. So taking territory, denying the 3/3 is very much an in thing nowadays. So, okay. I have no problem. Guard against it. What is black gonna do? Is black going to make le framework? Is black going to shoulder hit and try to build into the middle? Is black going to go all the way over here? Or you know what's happening. You know what's happening. I can try to throw you off the scent, but you could smell it coming, couldn't you? Admit it. You knew it was coming. 3-3. Now, in the interests of full disclosure, the minute I see someone take the 3-3 in the beginning of the game, like this, I start rooting for the opponent. White is now who we're rooting for. Jen Fabrik, you have fallen for the wrong names. It is not Lee that is doing the 3-3. It is Cho. Cho is black. That is why Cho's name in the upper left-hand corner is black. Lee is white. That's why his name in the upper right corner is white. Awesome. Okay. So, blocks. Which joseki is Lee going to choose? Is he gonna Hane? Is he gonna Small Knight? Is he gonna... No, he's gonna do none of those. Backs off. Nice and simple. Oh. Says, yes, black, you can go and do your whatever you want on low on the second line. Ew, yuck. I'm just going to back off strong. We're not going to get into joseki and cuts and bleh. I'm getting my wall, and that's it. In fact, I'm getting a larger wall. How you like dem apples? Now, I'm on the fence about this variation, because I usually prefer to get the wall and then expand. This potentially throws Sente away to our opponent. So, let's see where Lee wants to go with this. Let's see where Lee wants to go with this. White obviously expects black to push again. And because we don't want white, or black, sorry, to Hane at the head of 2 and 3 stones, because if we play elsewhere, we're going to see this, right? And then maybe even a double Hane. And at that point, we can probably resign because we're not winning this game as white. Like, can you imagine where this is going to go? Just, like, keep extending. Like, how much are you going to extend? Because you're going to have to go and reduce all this. It's not going to be pretty. So we're not going to do that. We're totally not going to do that. There is no way on this planet we're doing that. Right? Instead, extensión. We are pulling out all the AI stuff now, man. Complete with an attempt to over-concentrate white and just treat the wall like it doesn't exist. Now I am really rooting for white. Ooh, I'm so rooting for white. So I have to say here, at this stage in the game, you have to be careful about getting angry at your opponent. Some of my students have expressed great displeasure when they see this in their games. So much so that it's throwing off their rhythm entirely, and they start going crazy and making mistakes and getting into positions that I can't even fathom how they got there. Okay? So, yes, your opponent is poking your wall. But how much territory did your opponent get from this? 2, 4, 6, 8, let's say 10. Right? Let's say 10 or so. So if we look at white's next move, he's very much aware that he just needs a couple of points here. This could be 3, 6, 9 to grow on. Easily equating these, so we're still okay. If this is going to be about the same, and these are going to be about the same, this contends with Comey a little bit more, but we have the influence. So could be a pretty okay dealio still, right? No reason to get angry and frustrated yet. That'll come later. But for now, not so much. Okay? Black seeks to expand very, very quickly. Here we break basics. I would always teach you guys to respond once. But nowadays, when we see the shoulder hit in a lot of games, I've been seeing it ignored, believe it or not. Because the follow-up, you push, you block, you descend, you extend. It's not the end of the world, you know? If it was like just this, and I would say, yeah, you probably need to respond to that, and I have no idea how that stone got there. But yeah, you probably need to respond to that shoulder hit. But, you know, we're not totally weak. We're not totally weak. I've seen weaker positions. So white approaches. Now, now we're getting into something. Black tried to expand, and white said, "Nyet. You don't go here anymore." Bats, you always say even a moron connects versa peep. Yeah, I know. Most circumstances, you're probably going to. In here, opponent's trying to over-concentrate you so they can take away your expansion, make this hard to get anything, and that would hurt you more. There's exceptions to most rules. What could I say? What can I say? So, alright. What is black going to do? Black decides to raise the stakes and make things a little bit more complicated. Now this one's tough. Like, do you pincer here and maybe let black attach to your corner to settle? Are we going to pincer here and then find a way to have to like respond to that too? Then I don't know. Come out. I don't know. There's a lot of options here. I like black's moves, but I have to confess I like white's response too. Nice and simple response. It's like, I'm going to go back and respond to your pincer now, or your shoulder hit now. That's fine. Settles. But this is now Sente for white. And wouldn't you know it, there is a move black ignored. We did approach. And white went elsewhere. So how to follow up that move? Q4, so says Dragonian Fly. Quite correct. Is the attachment. Now we must decide what to do. Hane on the outside. We've got potential there because it's completely open. Extending down because we can go one of two different ways. Black follows because of liberties. Dangerous stone, that is. Threatening the cut. Threatening the Hane. So black simply says, protect. Easy peasy. Not wanting to see a black stone here, white has to respond. There we go. Looking good, looking good. Now white is got a bit of shape. Seems like he's alive. But wouldn't you know it, now that black is fine here, black is fine here, this is okay. There is a move that white still owes, and that is the protection against the cutting point. So just as white followed up his move, black follows up hers. Now, how do we handle that cutting point, folks? What do we do? What do we do? Do we turn? Do we jump? Do we try to kill? Do we cap? Have you noticed I haven't said the right move yet? Indeed, these 3 stones are in trouble, so we simply jump. Easy peasy. Those of you who wanted to abandon these thrones, these stones as garbage, they're not garbage. They're not garbage at all. They're keeping the cutting stones weaker. They're ensuring black doesn't get this entire bottom area uncontested. Why would you want to abandon those stones? This thing that you said, it makes no sense. Black jumps. And now we're going to be mindful of the 2-space extension. We're going to seek to disconnect this, but we're not going to play something like this and leave cutting Aji behind. Instead, we actually just play a simple diagonal move, ensuring there's no cutty shenanigans here. Nice, simple, and solid. Emergency shape attachments. No reason not to respond. Got ourselves some shape. Got ourselves some sheep. Sheepy, sheepy, sheepy. Now we turn. Now you have a full-fledged wall. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Now, you have to be careful here, because there is double Hane shenanigans that can happen. Gots to be careful. Plays the Hane. Blocks. Connects. Weak point. Good old elephant eye. But black doesn't, or white does not care about that. White wants to not be surrounded. White has his eye on the bigger picture. Yeah. This is from 4 days ago there, Pace and Fox. That is true. I'm always on the lookout for games to go over on Real Board and various lectures. I mean, I look for games every couple of days. So yeah. Comes out. Don't want to be surrounded, because remember, Go is called a surrounding game, which usually means don't let that happen to you, you moron. Using our strength to attack. I likey. B can cut at J15. What is J15? J15. Can be cut at J15. If you do this and he goes there, can you really cut? Can you handle the push and the cut? It's a very good question. We're going to see it later, so we will come back to that. Hold that thought. Attaches. Probably the most common response. Most common response. Well, ask, excuse me, ma'am. Would you mind kindly if I connected up my stones? And black says, no. You cannot connect up your stones. I'm trying to murder you, you see. White says, well, pardon me then. Have to be careful because of the cut. So simpler move, just extend. Therefore, there's never a cut here you have to read. Ain't that cool? Still don't want to be surrounded. So now we've got 4 diagonals in a row. And at this point, I will confess I want to see a defensive move here so we can have 2 more. And then I want to see black extend, and I want to see the Hane for another one. Just because it's amazing. It'd be terrible, terrible shape to make, but it would be amazing. Unfortunately, I don't think black is a fan of art. Because black pushes, forcing white to ruin the... ruined. The diagonals are now ruined. It's so sad. All in the name of trying to murder her opponent. What do you think? Are these 3 stones dead? Can they live? What say you? Never abandoned, says Morganall. Okay. Okay. It's an interesting choice. An interesting choice. But can anyone see a way to save them? Hard to live with both groups. Da. But can anyone see a way to save? Attack the C6 stones for rescue? C6. What's C6? Oh, the C6 stone. B6, says Morganall. Yeah, you kind of have to. If you play here, we're just going to like extend back, and that's pretty much the end of that one. But if we play here, suddenly we're trying to create cutty points. So Black Hane. Pretty good deal regardless. I mean, 3/3's now opened up from this stone, right? So, looks interesting. Let's see where this is headed. Has the great Lee Changho lost his game? Hane. And getting cut. All right, there's a cutting point. There is the cutting point. Just kind of hanging out there for all to see now. Well, we're not alive yet. So we extend. And get blocked. And Atari. And Atari. So now everything's nice and cut. And there's the issue right there. Can we hold all of this? Black says, get back in your corner. White connects. Rather than throw in and get cut and have really, really terrible things happen to this group, we defend. Because if you throw in, if we play this here and we cut like so, this has to defend itself or it's dead, right? Think you'd all agree? That would be pretty dead. So if we're going to try to kill all of it, then the only thing we can do now is save this, but now you're dead. It goes nowhere. Because you cannot Atari to freedom. all you can do is play here, have these stones be captured, do we do that one first? Yeah, probably. And then go back and take. So it'd be kind of sad. So we're not going to do that one. And instead, black defend. And white says, he. Now I extend. And black said, whoops, how to get that away. Trying to Atari our way out of here. Easy capture. In exchange for 2 stones, easy capture. The 2 stones are, however, taken in Gote. So what does black do now? Judges, you're black. White took a larger corner. It's sad, but he did. Now what do we do? Now what do we do? That is the current meta there, Pace and Fox. It is all reading. These kind of low territorial, fight over everything kind of games, yeah. That's the meta, yo. That's the meta. And those of you who said to surround white, step forward and claim your cookie. However, if you said that white is dead, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Not so fast. Because this is a small knight. This is a small knight. That's technically a cutting point. And this is too. It's a lot of Aji there. So check out this magic. And I would have put this in one of my life and death videos if I hadn't gone over the game today. First, we attach, because we're creating cutting points. Black says, you can't come out. White says, pretty please. It always helps to say pretty please. Black says, yak come out. And white says, are you sure I can't come out? Black says, I'm sure you can't come out. I'm bad. I mess up stones constantly. Alright, can't come out, can't come out, can't come out. Well then, how about if I come out this way? Can I come out this way? And that one is where things get tricky. Can you see why it's tricky, chat? Can you see why it's tricky? Because some of you are saying, white is a noob. Just play here and he's dead, right? Like, how stupid is he? Problem here, though, is we would Atari take Atari block Atari, or semi-Atari. And now we have a problem. Because we can't play this way, and if we play here, these stones die. At that point, we have to go back and worry about this. It's an issue. It's more stones dying. It looks like we'd be giving up these stones to go with those stones, and the rest of the top of the board. And this group is still cut off? Probably not, right? Oh, right. And then black would probably turn around and get killed with these stones because this, well, I don't know. It depends on how this is sacrificed, right? Because if you turn around, you could probably sacrifice it pretty efficiently. But it would be Gote having to go back and play this. And then what happens to these stones on the outside? It's just a huge, huge mess. So rather than get into the huge, huge mess, black takes, nice, and simple. So continuing onwards, we now have that taken in Gote, but if you think, for an instant, that white is just going to Atari out, you're crazy. White is a professional. White doesn't simply live. White doesn't simply run away. He was not top of the world for 10 years because, well, okay, yeah, actually, he was top of the world for 10 years because he gave his opponents what they wanted. Haha, awkward. But no, not anymore. Instead, he is going to force a capture and cut off them center stones. Not only is he going to cut off them center stones, he is going to do it in Sente. Because these now need a capture. Threatening to go through and kill those. Bad shape created, and now the hunted has become the hunter. Isn't that a complete 180? That has to hurt for black a little bit. A little bit, right? So our group that was attacking is now under attack. White offers a truce. Black says no truce. And so the game is on. Bottom left-hand corner. The bottom left-hand corner is just this plus these 3 stones. Because keep in mind, this isn't completely his just... Wait, is it? Yeah. This isn't completely his just yet. Hers, sorry. This can be reduced still. And right now, it's looking like these stones are weaker than these stones. Since these stones are attacking 2 different groups. And this corner is absolutely fine. That corner is absolutely fine. These stones, for the most part, are absolutely fine as well. Because you're never going to get rid of, like, all the shape that white can make here. So, time to extend. Oh, painful cutting point. Has to drop down. Which means we get to go in further. And now we have our attempt to counterattack. Our attempt to counterattack these stones. White plays Zihone. Trying to resurround white. And white similarly. Trying to cut off black. Okay, so now we've got, it bears mention, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 liberties here. Time to connect. We can always push through and cut. And again with the aggression. Cho Hyeyeon is such a nice person in real life. Wouldn't have imagined that she is attempting to be a vicious murderer. Never would have imagined. Never would have imagined. But alright. Not even M6? No, not even M6. It's like, I'm gonna re-surround you and kill you. You're gonna die. Come on, former king. You're being dethroned again. You're being dethroned yet again. But small knights, they do get cut. So can black actually hold this? Black calls no joy. There's no way we're holding that ever. And again, it's time to count. Could play here. Could get cut off, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 liberties here ish. So seems fine. Seems fine. Jumpy, jumpy, jumpy. Threatening to poke on through. Now it's getting real. Okay. Since this is out with a lot of liberties, we can't keep surrounding it. Time to go back and defend. And black says, wait a minute, but what about this group? Uh-oh. The group. The group. That group is on fire. White's like, that group? That group? Haven't you heard? I'm Li Chang Bloody Ho. I give people exactly what they want. And they still lose. Does it really need help? Does it really need help? Or is it part of the plan? Can I come through? Asks white. Or black, sorry. No, says white. Connecting. Do, 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 do. Connecting. Do, 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 do. Now this you have to be careful of. Because this move here is enormous if white gets it in. Because then all of this is territory, along with these stones that are almost dead now. I mean, that's way outclassing this sacrifice. So black says, all right, I can't do that. It's too many points. Because remember, Cho Hyeyeon does keep account of the game now. She has learned to count. And she is very good at it. But unfortunately, it also means she knows how much this sacrifice is worth. And white is going for that. So, there we go. Now, we can't save those stones. They're clearly dead. All we can do now is limit how bad this is going to be. So, black Atari trying to surround. Connects like so. Black extends down because the Hane is huge. So white responds like so. Again, trying to limit the sacrifice. But Li Changho is not the same player he was 10 years ago. He's learned to be very aggressive. Very aggressive indeed. And since she did not play another stone over here to ensure that she is out, Lee notices that there's a throw in here. So if we surround this entire group, that's painful, isn't it? Trying to save. Clearly they're in Byoyomi at this point because that's what this exchange is. It's a time siege. Time Suji. Gotta love him. Right. Lights move. And then connect. Threatening to cut straight through. And connect. Make sure that these stones stay dead. Push, push, push. Just the pushing. Can't respond to this, otherwise it's Gote. Black will, or white will turn around and waste that group. So, time to live. And white says, prove you are alive. Push, push, push. Block, block, block. And then black Tanuki plays elsewhere, takes large side on the bottom of the board. But at this point, you kind of have to, right? You can't let white come on in. Indeed, I do have a very nice set. I do appreciate. Unfortunately, I do want to point out that I do not have the white balance on my camera quite correct yet. It's a lot yellower than it should be. I hope to have that corrected for next time. I fixed the last problem that we had, but I do need to correct some of this white issue, this yellow issue that we're having. So, since we played elsewhere, black asks the obvious question, how are you not dead? And black says, I'm not dead because I'm going to connect. Like so. To which black is now asked again, how are you not dead? And she responds, I'm not dead because I can take this stone. Like so. At which point, white feels the need to reiterate, how are you not dead? To which black responds, I can Atari your stone like so. And now an exasperated white says, uh-huh, but how are you not dead? What do you think, team? How not dead? How not dead? How not dead? How not dead? Tasuji time, not time Suji. Seems pretty dead. Does seem pretty dead. We gotta get out of here. Have to get out of here. Alright, time to leave. Hit. Right on nose. Maybe we can get out of here. Maybe we can get out of here. Or then again, could sacrifice. That's a lot of sacrifice, though. Not gonna lie. That is a lot to sacrifice, but it's a lot to gain. So maybe cool idea. With one exception. White is pro. He is not going to sit idly by while his opponent tries to take all that for territory. He is going to resist. Black tries to link up, and White says, if you try to link up with those dead groups, they will simply poison and kill you. Black take. Now that right there, that right there is a statement. It's like, okay. That's a statement if I've ever seen one. The iron pillar of statements, indeed, indeed. But Black's like, I'm alive, my man. I'm sorry you don't want me being alive, but I am. I'm just going to play here. And you're going to respond. There you go. I'm threatening 2 eyes again. What are you going to do? And Black says, I'm just going to go ahead and poke it out. Now we need to borrow a Taimsuji. Nicely Taimsuji'd. While we read and see if we can get out of here. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. Plays Hane to get out of here. White's following. We must retreat! Retreat, everybody! Black extends again. But this cutting point doesn't work, which means this cutting point will. And thus we have a problem. We have a very, very real problem. Threat. Denied. Threat. Denied. Threat. Maybe we can do something in here. Ah, get back here. Denied. Drops down. We seem fine. So we just continue the fight with the Hane to threaten to kill. Taimsuji. Can Hane. But that just gets cut off. We have more than enough liberties. No problems there. We can cut this off, but this just gets captured, like so. Not allowed to poke through. Ah, not enough room for the stones. Threatening to go through again. Denied. And now back to endgame. Black is safely dead. Gotta connect. Threatening to get some more territory. Drops down. Don't want those stones coming back to life. Whoa. So we're going to go ahead and Atari them. Poke through here for a couple of more points. Force a connection. And make sure that those are nicely connected on up. White just says, all right, I will connect that up as well. Reduce that. Simple Atari gets a response. But we have to be careful here because the throw-in reduces a liberty. The Hane is an Atari, so you'd be dead, which is why that has to be gotten rid of. Reduce a little bit. White doesn't respond with a greedy play, because that would allow for like Atari and things. But lo and behold, it's too much. White is too far ahead, and black is left with no choice but to resign. Because right now, if I remember correctly, and I think I do, I think it's like white, was white 25-ish, I want to say. Yeah, guesstimator says white 25. So yeah, that was interesting. That was an interesting game. Between Cho Hyeyeon, the most energetic Go commentator you will ever see, and the former king of Baduk himself, Changho. Love the pyramid. So, had to go over the game. Thought it was amazing. I loved. Even better than Mr. KG and Park Chung-won's misreads. More? That is all I have for today. I are sorry. I am going to pick up, and then I'm going to log on to Chinese Thai Gym and hopefully get some hamsters for y'all. 25. White's up 25. White's up 25. I think. That's my scout. I'm relying on score estimator. I didn't actually count. I'm relying on score estimator. It is weird though, right? Just a little bit. Like, I would have assumed that white was up by more simply because of the sheer amount of dead stones over here. I mean, white gave up this, but yeah, that's why my counting totally sucks. I would have thought, oh yeah, white's up by insane amounts, man. All those stones are dead. All of that's a huge corner. This is a decent-sized corner, too. Yep, this is a strong bottom right. Yeah, 4th and 5th line territory there. That is true. That is true.